put in that extra comment, you know, and I don't want to do the graphics to do it. The short is just your cage, C, A, G, E, D. These are the bottom, these are the lowest playable notes in those cages. Okay. So we would have 3, 5, 6, 7, 2. Here we have all of them, so it doesn't matter. We cover all of them. Okay, so these are the 7 modals. Now I've noticed I've fixed this up here. So all these are the string shapes. This is the stack, 3 to 3 and 7 to 7, right there. And then with these 2 on top to show you that this is what's underneath 3 is 7. It's just a little plainer, but really it only has to be this stack for caged. This is for caged on the bar. On the bars, you can do these all as bar chords. You've got the 3 to 3 and the 7 to 7. That's why it's 10 high. Here's C, C3, G6, D2. So it's just 2, 3, 4. That's the D string shape. A5 is the short A5. Now let's go over to the longs, introducing the longs. We got the 3 longs. C4, the Lydian. 4, 5, 6, the Lydian string shape. 4, 5, 6 in relation to root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. We've got 4, 5, 6. We've got root 2, 3, the Ionian string shape. Then we have 5, 6, 7, the Mixolydian string shape. We have 2, 3, 4. The Dorian string shape is short. 6, 7 root. The Aeolian string shape is short. 3, 4, 5. The Phrygian string shape is short. And 7 root 2. The Locrian string shape is short. And this is how they stack up. And this is the modal. This is play away from the open cage. It's always going to play to the right. This happens to drift to the left, so we like to play it up on the bar here, right? Up on the bar. So if we look at, let's say 5 right here. This is a G in the key of C. So G is the 5th of C. So we would play a C shape from that 5. Okay, and we're going to go to the left for that 7. Okay, if we want to do a diatonic. Alright, but over here in the long cages, if we want to play that long modal, we're going to go 5, 6, 7 from the 5. Into the next cage. The A cage goes to the G cage. G cage. That's your G, your Aeolian scale. Couple of octaves of it. Let's zoom out. So this is P4. The patterns are P4. That means there's no tuning third because we don't know where that tuning third is going to happen. So we start anywhere on that pattern. Now this only has to be as big as it has to be, okay? So I'm pretty sure we've got more than we need here. 7. Alright, and then we go into our longs and then 7 up here again. 7, 3, 6, 2, 5, root 4. 4 to 4. This is as long as it has to be because we have 4 to 4 here. But really, it would only have to be like 6 strings. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 kind of thing. So this is a pattern. It's got plenty of build to it. We don't want to, worry about it too much. Here we have 5. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 actually. So it's a 6 string thing, 7 to 7. So we're going number to number. the pattern stack, if we're talking about the least common denominator for the pattern stack for a build, the good thing about this is any 6 strings we can grab, we can play. I'm going to start from the 2 here. Okay, we can just play it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. Okay, 2, 3, 4 up here, but we went over. The problem is when in actuality when we play it. In actuality, this one we have to warp it over. So what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the E string, the A string, the D string, and the G string. Now the B string and the E string again. First of all, that's 6 strings, so we wouldn't need this. And then we're going to take this and we're going to bring it over. I can't just slide it over like it was a, its own little graphic. I have to kind of cut and paste it in earphone view. Is this earphone view? Yeah, it's earphone view. And then after we get it there, we got to kind of fit it in there, make sure it looks real good. Because you want that effect of now we're looking at a guitar. So we started on 2, so we don't need this. This is in the imaginary. Okay. There's our actual D build on the guitar. That's play it as you see it. Play away. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. Now here comes up for the 6. Okay, so that's how the tuning third affects this stack here. Over here, the tuning third does affect that too. So if we go 4 strings up, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this 7 is going to be moved over too. So there it is. So I would start here on the 2. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now notice the 7 is right above the 5. 5, 7, 3. Okay, so that, again, that's the difference between a pattern stack and the actual fretboard drawing. These are all fretboard drawings. So you can see the third in here in between the G and the B string, okay? Pattern stacks, you're not going to see that. So that's the difference there. But let's look at this. So these are the scales. So we're going to be looking at the long scale and the short scale. Remember we just talked about the 2 types of patterns? Well, this is the long and this is the short of it. Okay, now it's not obvious in the C cage all the time, and E has its own peculiarities. This is the Lydian cage. That has to be looked at separately. But in the G cage right here, the Aeolian cage, again, we have the short we have to work this lone wolf 7 over here. But in the long, we don't have to work the lone wolf 7. We go into the long pattern. Look at the Lydian cage here. The Lydian cage kind of deserves some attention. Again, in the Lydian, the 1, 4, 5 Lydian is 4, 7 half diminished, or 7 diminished. Here's 7 half diminished. 4, 7, 1. 4, 7, 1. 4, 6 root. 4, 7, 2. Okay, this is second inversion, and then 5 root 3 second inversion. Now it's just a little interesting, but in the Lydian cage we still want to find our minors there, because that would be part of the same root mode, right? So if you're playing in Lydian, you still have your minors from the root mode. So that's where they are. I also added, interesting enough, we have an A half diminished shape. Here's our A shape, 5 root 3, and then we drop the root to 7, 3 to the 2, 5 to the 4, and we have our A shaped half diminished. Notice this is the A shape here. This is new, folks. I kind of stumbled onto this today. Here's the A shape. Okay, so let's zoom out. Right there. That's a little perk on the Lydian cage. You remember your Lydian scale, starting on the 4. Just start anywhere and call it a 4. Here's F. It's the 4th of C. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. And then play away 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, or if we want to do a cutout on that 6, 7. Okay, then we're getting the other 4 in the root up there. What I was saying is we have an A shape. So remember, the long Lydian, short Lydian is in what cage? It's in the C cage. Because this is your C Phrygian scale. And then up 1 is the Lydian scale. Okay? That's 1, 4, 5. And remember I was talking about we can also do now let's look at what 6, we really have. 2, what is this chart really about? This is a playaway chart for long. This was inspired by a little shorts on YouTube that I saw Steve Stein do. You know Steve Stein. And a really cool guy with the long blonde hair, whiskers now. Is always explaining, you know, and he's got that great vibrato. He got me going on this thing where we were talking about long scales there. So instead, we're not going to be going down. The only thing that's lacking in this diagram here is going to the left. But I do want to show you the trick. The trick is, let's say we're doing an E-shaped F here, right? Okay, we can do the E minor shape down here, but it's not as much of a trick as you think, because the E shape going this way is up a pentatonic scale to the G shape, where I'm going to do Mr. Capo with this one, because, so we're up here E shape, pentatonic scale, E goes to a G shape, same one. Now, so we're not worried about doing what I just did on the guitar, which would go from C major to C minor shape down here. It'd be a little easier to show over here, from A major, which is root 3, 5, down to A minor shape, which would be 3, 6, and then what? 3, 6, root. Root would be here. We're not worried about going that way because we're talking about what? We're talking about the long patterns, okay? The long patterns. Now, this shouldn't even be here, actually, if we're working with strict long patterns, but I've shown the short here. I've shown the short for reference, but we're looking at mostly this particular chart. Again, let's look at the title here. Major and minor chords and scales within long playaway modal cages. Okay, so we're looking at the long playaway cages. So in C it's this